and writes in English, Switzerland, Europe. In the story Going Places, Barton explores the theme of adolescents fantasizing and hero worship. We are all right now in this age, and this age is very important. In this age, whatever we think we want to do, we can do. They say in science, in biology, that when you are very young, the forces of the body are very vital. If you want to do anything after 40, it is near impossible. When is the peak time? When you are in your adolescence. Generally, people get their main work done when they are young. After a certain age, even if you want to, you cannot do it. But there are problems with adolescence. In the adolescence age, we think of things beyond our capacity, imagination, our we put limitations based on the world around us. Or in other words, we say we daydream. There are people in the class in the past who used to tell their classmates that my father is very rich and he has 10 cars. And in real life, he might only have a scooter at home. Now, why do people do such things in this age? People do such things in this age especially. Even later there are people in life, but it has especially happens when you are young. You want to show you are larger than life. You want people's attention on you. Basically, you want love of people. As in, people should pay attention to you, not the physical love. People should pay attention to you, and you only. And in that, we lose the vital time in our lives. There are people all across the world who hero fantasize. So, I would not give names, but in the school also sometimes there are these people who are fans of IPL. And I will not name them. Now, what is IPL? Actually, there are so many documentaries out there in the world which says IPL or any sports is a distraction from real life. These players, they get their match fees and everything, and we don't get anything. We just spend the 3 hours of our time, 4 hours of our time, which could be spent in doing something useful. Maybe a hobby, maybe painting. Somebody likes playing a piano. Somebody wants to develop a skill. Somebody wants to learn AI. Somebody wants to do an extra course. But they don't want to do it when, this distraction is going on. And in that is not the only thing. We pick up heroes. So for somebody, I'm not saying it is bad, but for somebody, MS Dhoni is a hero. And if he loses a match, we lose the day. Now, how can you lose a day on somebody else losing a match? Of course, you need to be proud of the country and everything and the team you follow, but you should not become there's a word called fanatic. And a person who is a fanatic, right, loses their present. So I'll give you a brief. This is a story of a girl. We'll read more, right? Who dreams of doing big things. She has dreams. Now, the idea is it's not that you should not have dreams. You should have dreams. Everybody should have dreams. Without dreams, what is our life? Without goals, what is our life? Right? But when we are in this age of teenage, right, we just dream. Or sometimes we have wrong goals, right? Goals which are wrong. So somebody would say, sir, which goal is too high and which goal is too less? I'm saying no goal is too high or too less. They say You aim for the moon, and if you miss, you will land on the stars. So there are jokes going around sometimes that I need to have an AIR1 in whatever. You know, this AIR1 is not a low goal, it is a high goal. But some people may say, I cannot achieve it. And it's a dream. So then why dreams for some people come true and so for some people don't come true? The problem is a lot of things, but here we will not discuss all of those things. Here, pertaining to the chapter, the idea is you dream too much and you take little or no action. So that is a short way of going down. You dream too much, but you take little or no action in that direction. So if somebody, there's a famous entrepreneur called Naval Ravikant. He says, there are so many other people out there. Even Swamiji used to say, if you focus on one thing, you get that one thing, and all other things go away. But because we are not focused on one thing, we get nothing, or we get fractional pieces. And that is what is the idea around here in the story. That there's a protagonist, Jency and Sophie, right? So Sophie is the girl the story about, and she dreams of doing big things but takes no action. And she knows her condition. So there are people in the world, right? There you have heard stories, and then you don't want to hear such stories. There are people who must have told you that there are people who don't have light at home, study under the lamppost. There was this rickshawala's son. All of this don't impact us because we are privileged. We have everything, and that is our biggest folly. Over here in the chapter, we'll find when we read that the girl is from a lower middle class family or a middle class family, and she dreams so big that anything and everything is out of her reach. And sometimes this is our story. We play these in our head and we lose the present moment, and we are not able to focus on what we need to do, and that is why we don't achieve anything. Or we collect so many different things in our basket that we cannot focus. So we learn. But I told you, right? What do we want in the young age, this age, adolescence? We want attention. We want people to look at us. We want people to look at us and say, oh, that is the guy. But by the way, this is also life. And you will not learn it because you don't read much, you don't understand life. But I'm just sharing. You drive a fancy car, the most fancier car that you have in the world. Anybody, anything you imagine, you name in your mind whatever car you imagine or dream of. Once you reach that car goal, or even if you have it, in the end, when you want people to look at you driving that car, they don't look at you. They are always looking at the car. They are never looking at you. But the problem is in life, we don't understand. We want people to look at us. And everybody is busy in their life. Nobody is looking at you. Nobody. Except for God. He is always looking. He is looking after us, but in different ways. But we cannot capture His true sense because we are not focused on the right goals. For us, it could be just remembering Him and working, taking action. Action. That is what generally gets missing in our life. So we will not notice these expressions because we will eventually learn all of these expressions when we go through the chapter. Chalo.
When I leave, Sophie said, coming home from school, I am going to have a bouquet.
Boutique. Boutique, not bouquet. Boutique. Boutique is a designer store. You might not even know. You Atmi Vidyamandira children don't know what boutiques are, or they might know, but I don't know. Boutiques are specialized designer stores. There are designers in the world. That is what happens to us. We chase brands, right? We want that On shoes which are 20,000 rupees, or we want those ASIC shoes which are 20,000 rupees, or we want those New Balance shoes which are 20,000 rupees. Why? Because somebody wears it, and sometimes we have four of those, or sometimes if somebody has two of those, you say, "Oh, can I wear yours?" And then when you go home, or when you are with your parents, you want those only. But as we have learned in the thing of beauty, what happens? Its loveliness decreases, and it is not a good thing to have a collection of shoes. There are so many people in the world who have collection. I had a friend in the United States. He had a basement, and in the basement he had all pairs of different Nike shoes. He used to collect the collectibles. Why? But just collect. It's a hobby. Is it a good hobby to have? No, it is not a good hobby to have. But there are people in the world. I've seen people in the world. Would not drink water. They will just drink Coca-Cola. No water. What about your health? So there are people, and then sometimes they are extremes. But let's talk about adolescence. So she thinks of making a boutique. We think of AIR1, some of us, or we think of doing the things that other people have not done. Some people think I am already a scientist. You don't become like that overnight. You have to have the habits and goals like a scientist. You have to first master the core subjects. First, whatever is just taught in the class, not extra. First you master that, and then you build the building blocks on top of it. But what do? I am curious, so I want to know how this thing works and how that things work. Those things will come to you naturally when you have the building block. But we don't have that. So we have a problem. We don't have English also. That's a problem. Because all books, anywhere, you want to become a scientist, engineer, doctor, CA, whatever, you will need to read. And the language is English. But we don't focus on that. We focus on whatever we want to do. But our goals are different. Our goals are too big. AIR1, or I'll get into BITS Pilani, I'll get into computer science program. Some people say I'll do a double majors. All of that is right, but you need to focus on the present and take action on the things that you do take you towards your goal every single day. But if you just sit and daydream, there are people in the class who get distracted just because somebody is talking. And sometimes when you don't listen, you say, "Sir, please teach the chapter again." What was the problem? You were not focused in the first place. You could have been focused in the first place and gotten the thing that was done in the class then and there. And then you could have doubts. But we don't do that. And that is why we are too distracted. We are in a distracted world already, but we are too very distracted in the past or the future. We cannot stay in the present moment. So, young girl like you, what does she want to do? Boutique. Why? Because boutique people are beautiful people, rich people, big people come to their stores. They buy these beautiful fashion designer garments, and she's going to be one of them. Are you getting my point? But we'll come to know she's from a middle class family, or even lower middle class. So here Sophie is the main character. So we have to focus on her. Now,
Gen Z, linking arms with her along the street, looked doubtful.
look doubtful. So two young boys or girls walking side by side, same age, same school, same class, right? One is Sophie. She's thinking of making a boutique, opening a boutique, becoming a fashion designer. Why a fashion designer? Again, the same thing. So that people look at them. Nobody is looking at. Jansi, linking arms. Linking arms means walking together. Walking together. They are walking together. Along the street, look doubtful. Why is Jansi looking doubtful? So we have to understand the character sketch of Jansi. She is practical. Or she knows about their life. About their life or situation. Clear? Now she explains. What does she explain?
Takes money. So, something like that.
So Soph is the short form of Sophie. Takes money, Soph, something like that. Somebody is thinking of becoming a scientist. It needs work in the brain, my dear friend. It needs work in the brain. It needs hard work. There are scientists who went into their basement for 4, 5, 6 years and did not come out of it. Did not know the world around them. It takes work. It takes action. That is what we are defining. Oh, my father has a lot of money. That's a different story. That is a different story. If you've been born in the Buckingham Palace, your son to the Queen, you can open a boutique tomorrow. But then the Queen and the King should be ready to give you that money. And if you are not a good child and they have disowned you as a child, then what will happen? You will not get boutique. You will get nothing. So that is life. Chal.
I will find it, Sophie said, staring far down the street.
How do you find it? Money goes on trees. You find money. You find money. You know, finding money is easy. Very easy. You work on yourself, money is automatic. You work on yourself, money is automatic. But you don't want to work on yourself and you think that you want to earn money. You can. It's automatic. I will find it. How do you? It's like a treasure hunt. You will find it. Somebody hid it somewhere and you will find it. So there is difference between, again, finding it and making it. Finding it, and people keep on finding things, but actually you make it. You find your life, you make your life. Make your life. Chal.
Take you a long time to save that much.
Will take you a very long time to save that much. She is practical. She is telling her that it will take you a lot of time to make that much. And that is true. It's not like, you want to open a store, anything in India, in a city, it will cost you crores of rupees. Yes or no? Even if you take a rental store, it will take a lot of money. No, my dad will provide. Okay, your dad will provide, but they know that their dads cannot provide. But still they are thinking like that. Chal.
Well, I will be a manager then. Yes, of course, to begin with. Till I have got enough. But anyway, I know just how it's all going to look.
So she is imagining in the future and she says she'll directly become a manager. You know what a manager means? So you heard about these great companies in the world, right? Like Google, Microsoft, IBM. All of these companies are run by Indian CEOs. So you say, I'll become Sundar Pichai one day. Yes, you can. Nobody is stopping you. But Sundar Pichai was from an ordinary family and went to an IIT. He went just like that. Just like that. No working. Just like that, he went to IIT, then he went for a master's, then he worked for Google, then he invented the Google Chrome, then he was part of the biggest things at Google, and then they said, okay, you run the company. What is she saying? I'll become a manager. You've not even passed high school, so you can become a manager, but you directly become a manager? You directly become a CEO? Oh, you can become one at a very young age. But then you should be focused. Where are you focused on? You are focused on the Kohlis and the Dhonis of the world. What will you get? You will get Kohli and Dhoni. You are focused on what? Kohli and Dhoni. You get Kohli and Dhoni. You focus on God, you get God. You focus on AIR1, you get AIR1. You focus on birds, you get bird watching. Everything else falls away. But she's saying, going to become a manager, and I see it very clearly. Some people say, I'm seeing it very clearly. See it. But only seeing works? No, you have to work on it. Yes or no? You have to work on it. You cannot just see it. You have to see. What is seeing? I can see anything. I can see a Superman in myself. Okay, jump from here. You will fall down and break your leg. You are no Superman. You have to, anything in life is possible. But you have to work on it. But just curiosity doesn't help. First, you have to make sure you make your basics rock solid. And then on the top of it, if you have curiosity, it works. Chalo.
They would not make you manager straight off.
She knows. Why? Why does she know? There are many people in the world who know. They'll not make you a manager straight away. Because she's practical. She knows the condition of the family, where they come from. They are just from high school. They might be sitting next to each other on the bench, and they might be actually knowing each other. You cannot solve a math problem and you want to become a scientist. You think if you just ask 10 curious questions, that means you are going to become a scientist? If you just chase people and then ask them questions, they are going to like you? No. What do you need to do? You need to work. They say, what do they say? They say, do the work and then let your results speak for you. You don't need to market. But then everybody in the world, what they want to do is they want to just market. They want to say, oh, I'm a good person. Oh, I have a car. Oh, look at me. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. Oh, look at me. I have so much talent. There are some people who are practical and say, hold on, hold your horses, sit down, get the work done. And that is something that we don't want to do, and that is why we all suffer. We don't want to do the things that we are supposed to be doing. We are supposed to be doing the next physics problem rather than asking a silly question. We are supposed to be doing the next 5 problems in mathematics. We are supposed to be learning those 3, 4, 5 chemistry formulas. We are supposed to be speaking in English and reading some books so that we can improve our English. We are supposed to be doing all of that. But what are we doing? And then we want that, so we don't get it. And then we become sad. Who brings those sadness? So and we'll come to know she brings her sadness to herself.
I will be like Mary Quant, Sophie said.
So Mary Quant was a famous fashion designer and a boutique owner in the olden times. I will show you a picture later. But Mary Quant was a fashion designer. So there are so many fashion shops in the world, right? There's this Prada and Versace, and you might not even know Dolce and Gabbana and whatnot. What is all of this, sir? These are French fashion designers. And should we want to wear such clothes? No. Why? Because what does Mark Zuckerberg wear all day? Anybody? A black t-shirt and a blue jeans? What did Steve Jobs wear all day? A black turtleneck t-shirt and a blue jeans? What do these... Why? Have you seen Mukesh Ambani? What does he wear? When he comes to the IPL, his kids and wife and everybody, I'm not shaming them, they are okay. I'm just saying, what does he wear? He wears a check shirt. If you have observed him, right? He is the man behind everything. And a common trouser, and the shirt is also out sometimes. Look at him. But we don't focus on that. They say, Swamiji used to say, Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. But what do we want to do? What do we want to do? We want to wear clothes that the rich wear. And you want people to look at us. And we want to earn all of that money and spend that money. They also say you buy things to impress people with money that you don't have, to again impress people you don't like. That is the idea. And that is why people want to earn money. And that is not the idea of earning money or doing things in life. The idea is to be happy. And you can be. Because it's not that easy. Otherwise, it's very easy. We bring our own sadness. We bring to us our own sadness. Nobody else can put us in a sad situation. We bring our own sadness. We don't work on the things we should be working on, and that brings us our sadness. And there are many other things. Chalo.
I will be a natural.
I'll be a natural, I have talent, I have skill, I'm going to be the best fashion designer. Why? Because people will look at me, they will come to my store, they will appreciate me, and then they will say, oh, she's the best fashion designer. Right? Why? She wants people to look at her and her success. Yes or no? Even the biggest of the biggest were forgotten or are forgotten. So we hear their lovely stories from the thing of beauty, but they are forgotten. You have to remind them. You have to remind ourselves of them. But then the greatest of the greatest get forgotten because the new great will rise. So what's the point? And that is why, spirituality helps. Gita helps. That is what is the one of the sar of Gita. They say, do the good work and leave it. Let it go. You become a scientist, leave it, let it go. You got an AIR1, leave it, let it go. But that is very hard, and that is where the word nimit comes from. It's very hard. Just don't talk about it. Just don't tell people that I'm going to become a nimit. Nimit, you will become when you achieve the heights of success, and then you are able to say, oh Lord, oh God, whoever you believe in, this is because of you I could do it. That's not that very easy. That is when you will come and say, oh, I work for 16 hours a day, I work my ass off. I was waking up when others were sleeping. I was on the ground when others were not. Sometimes after doing all of that work also, God will not give you what you should, but He will give you what He wants you to give or get. That is when becoming nimit is very difficult. Why I wanted this college, but He doesn't want you to go in that college. What will you do? And you have worked hard for it. That is when you can become nimit. So nimit is a very big word, strong word. Sorry for digressing. Let's come back to the chapter itself, and let's talk about these two people. Chalo.
They will see it from the start.
They will see it from the start, man. They will see it, man. अपना देख लेगा देख. पहले से बचपन से विराट कोहली है.
I will have the most amazing shop this city's ever seen.
I will have the most amazing career. I am going to be the next Sundar Pichai. Yes. Good job. Should have a goal like that. I'm going to be the next Tim Cook or whoever. Right? I'm going to be the next Prime Minister of our country. Why not, man? Good luck to you, but you need to work on it. Sitting in the class just dreaming doesn't work out. You have to work on it. And then you will become one or you will not become one, but you will get there slowly. Ciao.
Gen Z, knowing they were both earmarked for the biscuit factory,
Biscuit factory.
became melancholy. She wished Sophie wouldn't say these things.
So she becomes sad. Why is she becoming sad? She's saying she wished Sophie wouldn't say these things because she knows they were earmarked for the biscuit factory. Now you are earmarked for the Malibas and the what not, the DRBs, and I don't want to name colleges and places if you don't work for it. But your goals for getting into an IIT or whatever, I think even that should not be the goal. The goal should be doing your best every single day, every single day, every single day. Consistency. There's one more thing they say. Consistency beats talent. What is talent? Talent is just a waste. There's no talent. What is talent? Nothing without consistency. You have to show up every day to do the things that you have been born to. Not just ask stupid, curious questions. You have to do the work, and then while doing the work, you will realize a lot of things. But we don't want to do. We want to read, we want to speak English, but we don't want to. And then somebody would say, you went to an English medium school and you can't speak. Why? Who stopped you from speaking? That was not your goal, so you didn't speak. You spoke Gujarati or Marathi or Marwadi or whatever. Who stopped you? Yourself. You tied your hands.
When
Gen Z knew they were both earmarked for the biscuit factory. Now, what does that tell us about their family background? They are from a middle class family. They have to go and work. They don't even have money to get into a university. I'm hoping they are high school students like us. That is why sometimes remind you that we go in such detail in this classroom for all subjects. Imagine there are people out there who don't go in such details, but they will still do better than you. Why? Why they will do better than you? Because they have decided they want to do better. Can we do better? We can of course do better because we have all the resources, but we are in that abundance mentality. So we'll say, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. Or I have this goal, but this is not my goal. So that is the idea. So she became sad. She wished Sophie would not say such things. Why? Because, of course, she knows their condition. So somebody in this class says, I want to do this in my life. Well, good. You again the next day wake up and say, I want to do this in my life. Good. How will that change? When it's seen. And then the Monday test comes and you don't have to stand up and, you say, oh, I got everything. I got everything correct. And that is when the attention you seek from other people, they will come and give you attention. They'll teach you more. They will teach you more. They would want to say, okay, you don't know these two things, come, I will explain it to you. But the basics are missing. How are you going to learn other things without the basics?
When they reached Sophie Street, Jansi said, it's only a few months away now, so you really should be sensible. They don't pay well for shop work. You know that. Your dad would never allow it.
So, she's practical. She says, look at our condition. And then some of you look at your condition. If you don't study, what will happen? You need to have a reality. We need to have a reality in our head. We need to have a reality in our head. What will you do if you don't study? But you need to have friends like that who sometimes will come and tell you, okay, don't dream of big things, start doing the small things every day. Take the small steps every day. Swami used to say, "Daroj ek dagru Prabhu taraf chalu." How do you do that? Sleep more, eat more. Nowadays, IPL, the match is gone last night. You can watch it again. Watch it again. Watch it twice. Watch it thrice. What is it? Waste your time. So she knows, she is practical. So she's good friend. Recipe of success. You need to have friends who bring you to reality check. बहुत हवा में मत उड़ भैया, गिर जाएगा. चलो, they don't pay well for shop work. So she has to either work in a biscuit factory or shop. And it's good that in India we don't have biscuit factories also. What will happen to you if you don't study? And if there is a biscuit factory, there will be how many people lining up for working for a biscuit factory? Same in other countries of the world, Canada. There are so many people out there. There is no shop work left. What will we do if we don't study? I'm talking about everybody over here. So many biscuit factories. But how many people will line up? And you guys are not designed to work. In the foreign countries, the parents actually tell their children that after the high school, they are on their own. They have to get their work done, they have to get their money, and they have to pay their fees. In our country, our parents do everything. So we burden them and we don't do the things that we are supposed to do. So suppose if you guys study well and get a scholarship, aren't you earning for your parents? Isn't that buying a boutique for your parents? Isn't that a delayed car for your parents? Isn't that a delayed piece of something that your mom wants to buy for a very long time? Isn't it delayed thing that they will rest because now you earned that scholarship and they don't need to pay your college fees? No, but my dad has enough. So what does that mean? We add more to their burden? Sometimes you don't even know they are shielding everything from you. Their condition, their life, they don't tell you. And you don't realize. They just put you in a good school so that they want you to become better. They want to give you whatever they have with them the best. And in that sense, we are very lucky, but we don't understand. Chalo. So, practical friends, company of good friends. Somebody who is just talking about nonsense all day long and you sit and make friends with them, what will happen? You need to choose, okay? And then, of course, we hear Swamiji and then he used to tell us કે આપણા કરતા ક્લાસમાં જે આગળ હોય, શેમાં આગળ હોય? ખરાબ વાતો કરવામાં. Talking about the new shoe that came out in the market, or the new movie or the new song that came out in the market. Talking about, I need to do this and I'm going to work on it and I'm going to get it done no matter what. Clear? Chalo.
Or an actress. Now there is real money in that.
So now she's thinking about not the boutique, directly becoming an actress. I cannot become a manager, I cannot become a CEO of a company, I will become Elon Musk, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. You don't become a serial entrepreneur like that. You know about Elon Musk? I have told in the past, but you guys are not paying attention. And in the fifth grade, you are in 12th grade? Fifth grade, he had read all the books in his school library. All. 0 books left. He filled his mind with knowledge. We fill our minds with IPL. You get what you fill your mind with. When he wanted to build the company SpaceX, you read nothing. He went to the Russians because they had the ICBM. Sir, what do you understand? You are an English teacher. What are ICBMs? ICBMs are intercontinental ballistic missiles. The Russians had it, so he went to a meeting and the Russians started laughing at him and saying, we are not going to give you the ICBMs. He said, I will not speak a bad word. Go to hell. On his flight back, he designed an ICBM. You want to ask curious questions. You have to fill your mind with the right things to be able to do things in life. But on the other hand, you want your teachers to tell you all of this, and then whatever the teachers tell you, even that you cut into half, and then something minuscule is left, and now from that you want to become a scientist or an engineer or the top Marie Kondo. Okay. Why could he design the intercontinental ballistic missile on his journey back? Go back to 5th grade. All the books in the library were gone. We move like this in the class. We have to stand up when somebody is discussing something heavy, or we don't understand it because we don't understand it. How are we going to understand? We have not developed our mind to understand these things. So then, okay, I will not become a manager. I will not become Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google. I will become serial killer. Elon Musk. In your dreams, man. So, sir, we should not dream? No, you should dream, but you are not taking any action. Or nobody's put practicality in your head that outside of this school, if you sit there and if I ask you to sell something and I tell you earn a rupee on it, you will not be able to, because you don't have the practicality. You don't understand. You don't have the sense of what life is. It's just life passes. And when we are young, for us life passes like that. Chalo. Or an actress. Why? Because actress you become straight away. There are many people in the class, in the past also over here. Sir, I'll become the next YouTube influencer. There are thousands, man. And what will you influence people with? You have nothing to influence people with. You get influenced by IPL. How are you going to influence people? Sir, I'm going to be the next best singer. You can. Nobody's saying no. But focus on the things that you need to do. I'm going to become Ronaldo. And that's the other problem we have in the school. They say Adidas, all day I dream about sports. In our school, all day I dream about cricket. That is what we do, or football. And then you want to ask curious questions. Sir, why is the color of the sky blue? Man, read it. Read it up. Spend your time doing the things, or don't ask curious questions. Do what you need to do right now. And then in the free time, when you get your mobile phone, don't do that. Read a book. Watch a video. But when you will get YouTube, what will you watch? You know that. So you focus on shit, you get shit. And that is what your life is about. And you want to do small things in big things in a small period of time, like Sophie. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Or an actress on the side. Now there's real money in that stuff. Yes. And I could maybe have the boutique on the side, man. I'll become Sundar Pichai on the side, but I'll become serial entrepreneur. Anyways, actresses don't work full time, do they? Who? IIT. I'll get an IIT admission and I'll do an IIT Madras course on the side. In your dreams, man. In your dreams, man. You can focus in the class and you want to do those walas, I don't know. In your dreams, man. You're just wasting time and money if you're not focused. Just waste of time and energy. Anyway, That or a fashion designer, something a bit sophisticated. Everybody wants to be a bit sophisticated. But what is sophistication? Simplicity. Look at Ambani. How does he come to the stadium, Wankhede Stadium field? He is the owner of the team. How does he come? Mark Zuckerberg owns half of the things in the world with Meta and WhatsApp. How does he walk? What does he wear? And what do we want? On shoes. And then what do we want? The ASIC shoes. And what do we want? We don't even know the names and can pronounce it properly. We call the BMW the British Motor Works. We don't even know the full name, where it originated, or what the company does, where. But we want it. Why? Don't know why. That's a problem with teenagers. That is a problem. Something a bit sophisticated. Why do I want to go to IIT? Because I want to tell people, and my parents want to tell other people that I want to go to IIT. Sorry for repeating IIT over here. I don't want to put IIT in your brains. I'm saying you do the work and you get placed in the places that you need to be. New places you there? Not. Or UFT. It's hard to get in there. And then it's even harder. They have a spot there. I visited once. They showed me a spot, that this is the spot, sir. Every year people jump from this spot. Every year somebody dies at University of Toronto. They'll take you there. Why? Why do you need to die? You don't need to. You need to keep doing the things you need to do. Never get tired. Why should you get tired? Get tired, take a break. Remember God. Take a break, start working on what you need to do. Chalo.
And she turned in through the open street door, leaving Gen Z standing in the rain.
Now, Jansi standing in the rain is a good phrase. It is a literature phrase most people don't understand. Standing in the rain means leaving somebody halfway or drenched. Standing in the rain also signifies that a missing conversation. They say when it rains, it pours, you don't know what is going to happen. So she's left, stranded. She's still sorry, sad, that I'm trying to teach my friend that you need to work hard, my dear friend. But she doesn't understand. She wants to become an Iron Man and a Superman and a whatnot tomorrow. Shortcut. Sir, I will not become Elon Musk. I'll become the manager to Elon Musk. I will go butter lick him and become a manager. You don't. The smart people don't allow you to come next to them if you butter lick them. Do you think Elon Musk keeps people who butter lick him? Or he'll keep intelligent people with him? People who get the work done. Are you getting my point or not getting my point? So that's not the way. Work. And people will pay attention to you. But even then, if people don't pay attention to you, what do you need to do? Work. Because that is what you're supposed to be doing, silly. Chal.
If ever I come into money, I will buy a boutique.
So now this is again Gen Z. You have to imagine she's out there. Sophie is entering her house. Door is open. And what does she say? If I ever come into money. Is she saying I earn money? Or I work for it? Or I do something to get it? Ever come into money is what? Again, a treasure hunt. She's going to go to a casino and earn that money. Ever come into money means how? How do you ever come into money? You work for it. And then actually you don't work for money. You work for yourself. And then money is automatic. You work, results are automatic. But we don't want to work. Sir, I don't get a 20 out of 20 on the Monday test. Why don't you get it? Because you don't focus on it. You focus on so many other things in the world. And then if you focus on that thing is done. That means next time when you have to do that thing, the 20 tells you that you are done with that. But you don't want to work on that. You want the next IPL. Sir, can we skip today's sports and can we come in the sports time, and then can we watch IPL on the big screen? Watch, distraction. You get what you ask for. And it's not that very easy. You need to create a culture around yourself for studying or doing the work done. You can play cricket all day with the. I've told you multiple times, floodlights on in the day. If I ever come into money, if I ever get into IIT, I'll become Sundar Pichai. If you ever find IIT, you have to work for it, my dear friend. If I ever get into Beach Pilani, I will do this. In your dreams, man. Dream all day. And you will get there. Dream all day and you will get there. Chalo. And then, so this is spoken by whom? Sophie. She is entering the house. She is entering the house. And the next is spoken by her dad, which is not very clear. So she enters the house, dad is in there and she is speaking while she enters. If I ever come into money, I'll buy a boutique. If I ever come into money, I'll buy the latest iPhone. God damn it, give us that money, your mom will be able to do the monthly groceries. समझ पड़े से? Groceries of the year would be done with that iPhone. समझ पड़े से? Are you understanding? If I ever get into doing good things, I'll get a scholarship for myself. Right? Oh, God damn it. My child, you understood life. But what do we do when we go home? I want the next device. I want the next this. I'm going to earn, dad, I'm going to earn, mom, I'm going to get the next scholarship. That's a different thing. That has a different happiness. And then you don't have to do something special. You are put into the right place to do just what you need to do. Chalo.
If you ever come into money, you will buy us a blessed, decent house to live in. Thank you very much.
So father, what does he say? And we'll come to know their house is very small. If you come into money, don't buy a boutique. First buy a house. They have a very small house. What does the dad ask her? If you ever come into money, look at the difference. I'll build another palace for you, dad. What you're talking about? You're going to live in the palace. Disney, fairy stories. What do people do? They build palaces. Disney World, what is it? It is a fantasy. Dad, I want to go to the Disney World. Why do you want to go there? It's a fantasy. Is it real? Is the Harry Potter real in the world? And I can become a Harry Potter. Let's make this Hogwarts and let's use this pencil to give you all the things that you need, and then no need, you can do whatever. Quidditch or fly on a broom. Let's make this school a Harry Potter, school. Hogwarts. People think that they are Harry Potters and they go to Hogwarts with the online class. I know what they do. Because they are not in the present moment and they are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. Chalo. Now the reality. What is the father doing? Chalo.
Sophie's father was scooping shepherd's pie into his mouth as hard as he could go. His plump face still creamy and sweat marked from the day.
Okay, so he had just come from work. Do you think like he has a store or a shop or he's a big businessman? He's come from some factory. He's worked all day long. He's come back and he is hungry. So like Indian people may eat some snacks. He is eating a shepherd's pie, which is again a simple meal they have. And he's eating hard because he is low on energy. and his face is all sweaty and grimy from the day's work. Right? Yes or no? Chalo, last line and then we'll stop.
She thinks money grows on trees. Don't she, Dad? Said little Derek.
So Derek is a little brother. He also knows the practicality. That Sophie overthinks. And she thinks about so many big things that she doesn't think about practicality. Small boy, baby brother, he says, she thinks money grows on trees. Because he knows that when he wants something from his dad, he doesn't get it very easily. And then what does Sophie think of? But then some smart person will say, this is sir too much sadness. You are not allowing people to dream and think. I am not saying that. We started the chapter with what? Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss the moon, you land up on the stars. Shoot for an IIT. Shoot for an IIT Bombay. But work for it. If you won't get, you will get a triple IIT. With some scholarship if they offer. And they might offer something. But you don't want it. Because you have dads behind you. You were born in the Buckingham Palace, man. You don't need anything. This class also is a burden. You born, I don't want to use the bad words, but you were born in the Buckingham Palace. So you get it. So we stop the class over here and we'll take it from there.